Hello, I'm Buford Jones, and welcome to View's non-Ratchet review. Today is the special cruise ship edition. I am on a ship um, heading to the Caribbean area, I suppose. My geography is bad. We're going to Nassau and Freeport and somewhere else. Welcome to View's Review, where I review black created movies primarily shown on the Tubi streaming network. However, today I'm going to do one that's not on the Tubi streaming network, and it's not a Ratchet review. It is a review of the movie Sinners, which was written and directed by Ryan Coogler and stars Michael B. Jordan. Right now it's setting a lot of different records, and it's a very good movie, a movie that we should all see. I'm very proud of him for making that movie, and right now I'm going to review that movie. As you can see, this is not the same day, but I mean, I'm on a ship, so I'm going to enjoy it. But let's get into this. So, as I said earlier, I'm going to be reviewing the movie Sinners. And since it's in the movie theaters right now, I don't want to give away too many spoilers. So, I'm going to keep it really generic, but there's some things about it that make me want to do this review on it, because I really want people to see it, especially my black people. It's empowering. I think everyone should see it for the implications and for the just because it's good filmmaking. But there's a lot of symbolism that shouldn't be overlooked, and it's an important movie, I think. So we start in the beginning. We're not going to start at the very beginning, because the beginning kind of starts at the end. But where the story actually begins, we have these twins it's set in Mississippi, and there's these twins that come back to town from Chicago. It's set in the 1940s, I believe. And so the twins are both played by Michael B. Jordan, and their names are Smoke and Stack, and they're known as the Smokestack twins. The Smokestack brothers, that's what they're known as. They come and they pick up their cousin, Preacher Boy, and who plays the guitar, and he has his guitar with him, and they tell him that they've got some employment for him. They've got a job for him. Basically, the job is they have purchased what they are calling a juke joint. They purchased an old home that they're going to turn that evening into a juke joint, and they need him to supply some music for them. They take him way out in the woods, and there's a big truck with a lot of stuff on it, including liquor and things like that. And then they move on to go their separate ways. They split up. Preacher Boy goes with Stack, and Smoke goes by himself to secure food. Along the way, we meet several other characters, the store owners, and then sometimes I get mixed up myself. Stack goes and to the train station and meets up with a guy playing the harmonica, which is Del Rolando, and they ask him also to provide music for them. They tell him that it'll, of all the different things to drink. And then Stack runs into an old friend who he's not expecting to see. They have some words that aren't very kind, and then they go about their separate ways. In the meantime, Smoke, brilliantly played, of course, both Smoke and Stack are played by Michael B. Jordan, and he uses these different scenes to show the difference in the two characters. Now, unlike sometimes where you see a movie where one person plays two different characters, there's usually a lot of similarities. Really, in these two characters, the only similarity are they look alike. Other than that, there's almost no similarities in the characters. Um, their actions, their motivations slightly, but their actions are completely different. And later in the movie, when early on they're noticeable by what they're wearing, but later when they're not wearing that, it's easy to distinguish who is who by what they're saying and how they're acting. Um, Without going too deep into it, this does turn into a somewhat of a horror movie, and there's a character, a shady character, who's seen knocking on the door of a couple, and he has some foul machinations afoot. Those are some $5 words for you, maybe even $10, and it becomes very important in the movie. All the people that are met and spoken to specifically all have very important parts to play in this movie. And that's pretty much where I'm going to end, because it's not really a review. This is just me giving a commentary about the movie. So as you can see, it's a different day, and we are heading back to Norfolk, but I'm going to continue this just with my overall commentary. So, the first thing I'll say is that there's a lot of wind, so I'm holding my hat on. A lot of the critics that I've seen that reviewed this have said that it was, said the symbolism was too overt, and that was kind of amateurish. But to them, I say that's wrong. That pretty much just tells me what you come from. As a black person, this is a black made movie and it's mostly black cast. But as a black person, every black person has experienced these things that are symbolized in this movie. Maybe not every single one of them, but every black person, whether they want to admit it or not, has experienced some of these things. So you can call it overt symbolism or amateurish or whatever, but that's because it's not your life. And I think it was very expertly done, very carefully, and very sensitively done, though a lot of the points were very, very stark. I'm not going to point out individually or specifically because I don't want to ruin the movie, as I've said earlier. However, I want you to, anyone who's watching this, take note of the role the white people play in this movie. Notice how they're portrayed and how it works out. There's one particular group of people that's only represented once that there's a really good symbolism in that, because they don't interact with the black people at all. And a lot of people watching this, including black people, will say, well, no, because my grandmother is mixed with blah, 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 or whatever. But as I'm sure Ryan Coogler knew, a lot of tribes had absolutely no contact into their bylaws. I've seen some of the bylaws of some of these people. I'm not going to call them out, and I'm not saying anything bad about any particular group of people. However, there were bylaws that stated if you interact, if you marry, if you have children with black people specifically, then you're excommunicated. And to me, that was a bit of symbolism in this. Also, notice the inclusion of several different peoples and what happens with that inclusion. Sometimes, I think the overarching theme of this entire movie is watch who you will let into your space, because they might invite people into your space that are harmful. We'll just leave it at that. Now, as I said earlier, this is not really a review, it's a commentary. The good, there's a whole lot of good. The acting was great. The costuming was great. The music was great. There was very little bad in it to me. I have only seen it once, and most of these things that I review, I see at least twice. So I've seen this one once. So on that, that's what I'm saying. As far as the bad, the only thing I'd say is it's not for everybody. There are some people who are going to completely disagree with the messages. I think they'll get a lot of the messages and still disagree. And that'll mostly, I think, be non-black people. There will be black people who disagree with the messages. And that's fine too. It's fine if everybody disagrees. It doesn't matter. This is my commentary. So, as far as a Ratchet rating, no Ratchets. There's no Ratchets. I'm not going to say that. There's some Ratchet stuff that happens. But it's not detrimental to the film. I would say, let's give it 2 Ratchets. 2 Ratchet movies. As usual, if you like this, if you disagree with it, whatever, leave a message in the comments. Leave a comment and say what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. Share it, subscribe to the page. I appreciate all the people who watch. And right here, gotta keep my hat on. Right here, you can send me an email if you'd like to discuss film writing or your film or my films or whatever. Put the word script in the description. All right, thank you for watching my vacation video.